Your Honors, and may it please the court.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most soul-stirring and motivating films based on real events.
It's Hebrew from the Talmud. It says, whoever saves one life saves the world entire.
Number 20, Invictus.
This is the time to build our nation, using every single brick available to us.
Ever motivating, sports flicks usually know how to uplift audiences, and Invictus is no exception. The 2009 film depicts the late South African president Nelson Mandela, who worked to unite the country following apartheid.
How do we inspire ourselves to greatness when nothing less will do? How do we inspire everyone around us? I sometimes think it is by using the work of others.
Inspired by the 1995 Rugby World Cup, Mandela rallies the national rugby team in an effort to win the championship and, more importantly, heal the divide within the land. Based on the John Carlin book Playing the Enemy, Nelson Mandela and the Game That Made a Nation, this is a moving tale on both page and screen.
I want to thank you for what you have done for our country.
No, Mr. President, thank you for what you have done for our country.
Number 19, The Pursuit of Happiness. Based on the true story of American businessman Chris Gardner, The Pursuit of Happiness will break but also warm your heart.
Was it as easy as it looked?
No, sir. No, sir, it wasn't.
Set against the backdrop of 1980 San Francisco, the film follows Gardner, a single father facing houselessness while raising his young child Christopher. All the while, he's trying to become a stockbroker and build a bright future for his family.
Some of you guys are here because you know somebody. Some of you guys are here because you think you're somebody. There's one guy in here who's going to be somebody. That person's going to be the guy who can turn this into this. 800,000 in commission dollars.
Will Smith and his real-life son Jaden play the dad-son duo, which gives their portrayal familial authenticity. Although at times a tough watch, this biographical drama is an uplifting story about fatherhood and the American dream.
Hey. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me.
Number 18, Glory.
That's right, Highness. Ain't no dream. We run away slave, but we come back fighting men. Go tell your folks our kingdom come the year of Jubilee.
Following an entirely black regiment known as the 54th Massachusetts Infantry, 1989's Glory depicts the victories, horrors, and tragedies of the American Civil War. The outfit was led by a white commanding officer known as Colonel Robert Gould Shaw.
Have some letters here. Personal things.
Certainly, Colonel.
Also, if I should fall, remember what you see here.
While many events in the film actually happened, it's important to note that, like with several projects of the sort and on this list, liberties were also taken. In addition, most of the characters do not strictly depict real people, including Denzel Washington's Oscar-winning Private Silas Tripp. With a harrowing narrative, Glory continues to rouse audiences decades after its release.
Ain't much a matter what happens tomorrow. But we men ain't. Yes, sir. Amen. 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 Yes.
Number 17, The Imitation Game.
Would you like to play?
Play?
It's a game. A test of sorts. For determining whether something is a machine or a human being.
Dubbed the father of modern computer science, Alan Turing changed the world. The creator of the Turing machine, he paved the way for a future that he sadly did not really live to see. In 2014, his legacy was immortalized in The Imitation Game.
You need me a lot more than I need you. I like solving problems, Commander. And Enigma is the most difficult problem in the world.
Based on Andrew Hodge's biography of the man, the film follows Turing as he attempts to break the German Enigma codes during World War II. It also delves into his personal life, depicting the journey and discrimination he faced regarding his sexuality. Nominated for the coveted Academy Award for Best Picture, The Imitation Game is a deeply poignant look at one of the most important figures of the 20th century.
Turns out that's the only German you need to know to break Enigma.
Number 16, Eddie the Eagle.
The most shattering physical and emotional experience of your life, and that's the noise you make?
It's in England, yeah.
One part comedy and one part drama, Eddie the Eagle is all parts inspiring. It tells the true story of Michael David Edwards as he works to ski jump for Great Britain at the 1988 Olympics.
Amazing. I think I'm ready for the 70 meters.
It's not an easy feat, considering the last person who pulled it off did so in the 1920s, and the odds seem to always be stacked against him. Indeed, Eddie faces a slew of obstacles, challenges, and doubts. Nevertheless, his perseverance, determination, and drive are undeniable, not to mention beyond admirable. An incredibly charming and sweet underdog story, Eddie the Eagle soars above the rest.
So flattering. I wasn't expecting that at all. Yeah.
Number 15, Hacksaw Ridge.
One more. Yeah, we get one more. One more.
Although it is a visually gut-wrenching depiction of the horrors of war, 2016's Hacksaw Ridge is also a story of hope. The film is inspired by a real-life combat medic known as Desmond Doss.
Maybe I'm prideful. But I don't know how I'm gonna live with myself if I don't stay true to what I believe.
A lifelong Seventh-day Adventist, Doss did not carry any weapons during his service due to his religious beliefs. Despite this, he managed to not only survive the war, but also save the lives of countless others. In fact, during the Battle of Okinawa, he rescued approximately 75 of his fellow servicemen and was awarded the Medal of Honor for his bravery.
And what you did on that ridge is nothing short of a miracle. And they want a piece of it. And they're not gonna go up there without you.
Number 14, Apollo 13.
This could be the worst disaster NASA's ever experienced. With all due respect, sir, I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
Directed by Ron Howard, Apollo 13 has stood the test of time as a harrowing survival story. In 1970, American astronauts Jack Swigert, Fred Hayes, and Jim Lovell were on a mission to the moon when chaos struck.
What did you do?
Nothing, I stirred the tanks.
Whoa. Hey.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Only a few days into their lunar adventure, an oxygen tank on board their shuttle burst, leaving the team without electricity and with limited air supply. The film is based on a book titled Lost Moon, which was co-written by Lovell and chronicles his experience on the dangerous mission. Even with the knowledge that there is a happy ending, Apollo 13 is still a heart-pounding depiction of resilience.
Gentlemen, it's been a privilege flying with you.
Number 13, Lion.
Have you heard of this new program, Google Earth? It's incredible. You can find any place from anywhere.
Saru Brierley's life is the stuff that movies are made of. Adventure, determination, and most importantly, heart. It's fitting then that it was adapted into this Oscar-nominated picture, where Dev Patel portrays him.
I'm not from Calcutta. I'm lost.
Born in Madhya Pradesh, India, the future author was tragically separated from his family when he was only 5 years old. After surviving on the streets, he was eventually adopted by people in Australia. As an adult, he used Google Maps to connect pieces from his past. Uplifting and poignant, Lion is an engaging journey you won't soon forget.
It's me, Siri. It's beautiful.
Number 12, A Beautiful Mind.
My quest has taken me through the physical, the metaphysical, the delusional, and back.
In the world of mathematics, John Forbes Nash Jr. was a celebrated genius whose mind was both beautiful and complex. In 2001, his life was turned into a feature film, with Russell Crowe playing the Nobel Prize-winning mathematician. The movie highlights his many achievements and also dives into his mental health journey.
Imagine if you had suddenly learned that the people, the places, and the moments most important to you were not gone, not dead, but worse, they've never been.
In 1959, Nash was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and we see the challenges he faced both personally and professionally. Released during a period before mental health was more widely discussed, A Beautiful Mind serves as a reminder for audiences to keep the very important conversation alive.
Maybe the part that knows the waking from the dream. Maybe it isn't here. Maybe it's here.
Number 11. Hidden Figures.
What do you ladies do for NASA?
Calculate your trajectories, launch and landing.
Well, you can't get anywhere without the numbers.
No, sir.
One of the biggest moments in U.S. history was winning the space race in 1969. Although many helped make the mission a success, it would never have happened if it wasn't for NASA mathematicians Katherine Goebel Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson.
NASA? That's something. I had no idea they hired.
There are quite a few women working in the space program.
Based on Margot Lee Shetterly's book, Hidden Figures chronicles their important work. More than that, it explores the horrific racism and discrimination they faced as Black women in a predominantly white, male-dominated space. The film pushes Johnson, Vaughan, and Jackson to the forefront, telling a story that is so inspiring, it's simply out of this world.
So, you think we can get to the moon?
We're already there, sir.
Number 10. Rudy. Rudy Rudiger didn't have the stellar grades, money, or athleticism expected of prospective Notre Dame football players. But he did have a big dream and the willpower to achieve it. Considering all the dreamer lacked, many thought his elaborate plan to earn good grades, make money, and train to be a worthy player was highly unrealistic. Despite doubts, multiple rejections, and many other challenges along the way, Rudy did everything he could to achieve his goal. His persistence paid off, as he was not only eventually accepted by the university, but also took to the football field. Rudy wound up winning a game in epic fashion, a powerful testament to the possibilities of triumphing against all odds. Number 9. The Theory of Everything. Recounting the life of Stephen Hawking, this film tells the story of the brilliant physicist. It was adapted from a memoir written by his wife Jane, who details their romance, his ALS diagnosis, and his exemplary scientific achievements. As Stephen builds a groundbreaking theory about black holes and radiation emission, his condition worsens, leading to struggles for both him and his spouse.
Like the children can be.
It'd be too difficult to manage, Stephen.
Overcoming grim obstacles, Stephen continued to carry out and stand by his work. And even though he and Jane divorced amid hardship, the two remained close friends. While the movie takes liberties in its presentation, it presents admirable lessons about perseverance and the importance of leaning on those rooting for you.
Look what we made.
Number 8. Remember the Titans. Based on the true story of a high school football team, the film is set in the 1970s, a time that saw attempts to integrate a racially divided society. Black head coach Herman Boone is tasked with leading a blended team of players. The merging of the formerly segregated students was initially met with racial tensions and stark competitiveness.
Football is about controlling that anger, harnessing that aggression into a team effort.
But with speeches on unity, team-building excursions, and time to learn about one another, the team came together. After a victory, tragedy later struck when an accident severely injured one of the captains, adding to the adversity the players routinely faced.
How's he doing?
Not too good.
But the Titans went on to prove their comradeship on and off the football field, exemplifying the unified power of standing against stigmas and injustices. Number 7. Erin Brockovich. Detailing the story of a resolute legal clerk, the biographical drama portrays Erin Brockovich's fight against corporate irresponsibility and selfishness. As an environmental activist and consumer advocate, Brockovich took it upon herself to investigate suspicious activity of the Pacific Gas and Electric Company.
Incriminating records have a way of disappearing when people smell trouble.
I'll remember that.
She found that the company was contaminating local water, so she began building a case fraught with challenges. Being a woman in a male-dominated field and lacking the law education of her peers, Brockovich struggled to gain the respect she deserved.
I'm just a guy with a small private firm.
Who happens to know they poisoned people and lied about it.
But eventually, her determination resulted in her case seeing success, with corporate consequences imposed. Brockovich's resilience is an inspiring example of advocating for what's right, regardless of barriers standing in the way.
So before you come back here with another lame-ass offer, I want you to think real hard about what your spine is worth, Mr. Walker.
Number 6, 42. As the first Black Major League Baseball player of the modern era, Jackie Robinson endured substantial adversity. After earning his spot on the Brooklyn Dodgers, the talented first baseman was the target of unwarranted criticism, racial slurs, relentless taunting, and tremendous pressure. Rising above it all, Jackie consistently took to the field and performed. Not to mention, he was the key player whose homer clinched the pennant for the Dodgers. Jackie also connected with his teammates along the way, especially Pee Wee Reese, who notably showed support during a hateful display against opponents.
Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42. That way they won't tell us apart.
While aggression and revenge would have been understandable reactions, Robinson seldom wavered when it came to taking the high road and standing proud and tall.
And here comes the pitch.
Number 5, Coach Carter. Ken Carter had a long, trying road ahead of him when he became the coach of a high school basketball team.
Starting today, you will play like winners, act like winners, and most importantly, you will be winners.
Focusing on the players' lack of respect and unimpressive performances in the classroom, the new coach took a different approach to making his team better students, players, and people. Team members weren't initially fond of Carter's disciplinary tactics and high standards, but they eventually understood his purpose and grew to appreciate their leader.
Do you want to be on this team? Because you're about 6 words from getting kicked off and kicked off the goddamn bus.
Though the team's season ended with a quarterfinal loss, Coach Carter left his players with a valuable life lesson that winning a basketball game is nothing compared to achieving community togetherness, growth outside of a sport, and the ever-elusive victory within.
But you men played like champions. You never gave up.
Number 4, Freedom Writers. With a classroom full of at-risk students experiencing eviction, abuse, violence, and death, English teacher Erin Brockovich saw an opportunity to help. In an attempt to educate and better her students, Erin dedicated her own time, money, and effort to providing her class with diaries through which they could express their struggles and feelings.
You have to write every day. Keep a pen nearby whenever you feel the inspiration.
The determined teacher's involved methods were criticized by fellow educators and her husband, but she stood firm in her belief that it was her duty to give her kids meaningful outlets.
I finally realized what I'm supposed to be doing, and I love it.
Inspired by their accounts, Erin compiled the diary entries into a book. Thanks to her hard work and commitment, many of the students became first-generation college attendees who were granted the tools to pursue brighter futures for themselves.
We're going to be together junior and senior year.
Number 3, Soul Surfer. Based on an autobiography by Bethany Hamilton, the film portrays the story of a talented young surfer who suffered a life-altering blow. A shark attack left Bethany without an arm, making the continuation of her sport seemingly impossible.
I'm gonna be okay.
But with time and resilience, she underwent a journey of self-discovery and got back on her board. She leaned on her loved ones while training to compete again and demonstrated how it is indeed possible to conquer life's hardest tests.
Hamilton drops into a nice-looking wave.
Even though Bethany lost a competition after a remarkable showing, she explained she wouldn't change what happened to her because she is now able to touch more people than she ever could before. Number 2, On the Basis of Sex. The fight for women's rights has raged on for over a century. Gender discrimination is nothing new, but it was especially prevalent in the 1950s, a time that saw Ruth Bader Ginsburg attend Harvard Law School. This biographical drama follows Ginsburg as she carves her path in a male-dominated field.
Is that an answer, Mrs. Ginsburg, or a filibuster?
She graduated atop her class, but struggled to find employment as a female lawyer. Despite ignorance and stigmas plaguing her uphill battle, she worked on a groundbreaking case and vehemently advocated for gender equality.
There's nothing that women are inherently better at than men, nor vice versa.
After proving her worth in the legal world and significantly contributing to actions around sex-based laws, Ginsburg was appointed to the Supreme Court. Her legacy serves as a reminder that effecting change requires passion, mobilization, and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
We did it.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Wild. One woman's journey across the Pacific Crest Trail is nothing short of gripping.
When I'm done, I'll only have 2 dimes to my name. But I'll have to start living. I'm nowhere near ready.
Lone survivor. Courageous SEAL team takes on life-or-death mission to find a Taliban leader. Hotel Rwanda. Displays of selflessness amidst rising tensions, corruption, and genocide.
Mr. Manager, I just want to thank you.
Of course, Steve.
Constance!
We Are Marshall. Football team rebuilds after an unthinkable tragedy.
From this moment on is how you will be remembered.
The Miracle Season. After captain's passing, team grapples with grief in pursuit of victory.
From the looks of it, a lot of you had a connection with our beloved captain, number 9, Caroline Found.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Schindler's List. Telling the true tale of a German industrialist during the Holocaust, this historical drama is as emotional as it is inspiring. Having witnessed the persecution of Jews in Poland, factory owner Oskar Schindler hired members of the Jewish business community.
God bless you, sir. All right. You're a good man.
When conditions worsened and Nazi forces transported some of his workers to Auschwitz, Schindler used revenue to bribe the commandant in exchange for their release.
You could make things easier for me. I'd be grateful.
Though his business was originally driven by profit motive, the businessman ended up using his factory as a way to save countless lives. An example of altruism and fortitude, Schindler's actions will forever encompass the timeless lesson that there is always a choice to be good and do good, even during incredibly dark circumstances.
I could have got more.
Oscar, there are 1,100 people who are alive because of you. Look at them.
If I'd made more money. I threw away so much money. You have no idea. If I just...
Has a movie ever inspired you to make a change? If so, tell us in the comments.
Your Honor, out of all the cases you're gonna hear today, which one is gonna matter 100 years from now? Which one is gonna make you the first?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.